Hi, I'm Christopher John Farley, an editor at the Wall Street Journal. I'm here with acclaimed singer and songwriter Joss Stone. Joss Stone has recently released a new album called LP1. Joss, welcome to the Wall Street Journal. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Now, your new album, LP1, you've released 5 studio albums. Why did you call this one LP1?
I know, weird, right? I guess I could tell you a real short and sweet version of why. When I left EMI, obviously when you leave, you have like exit deals and clauses, and in that contract, they named it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they called it LP1 and LP2. After Joss leaves, LP1 and LP2 kind of thing. So yeah, this is LP1, and there will be an LP2 at Christmas.
Does it feel like a new beginning for you? Because this is released on your own record label, Stoned, correct?
Well, yes. Every album is kind of a new beginning because it's like an entry in your diary, I guess. But I don't know whether it is really that much of a new beginning, apart from the fact that I now can do whatever, whenever, which is a lovely freedom. So it is a new way of working. Yeah, for sure.
Now, you wrote or co-wrote every song on the album. There aren't any covers. Why you decided to approach music this way on this album?
I don't know. It all just kind of came together quite randomly. Dave Stewart, who I made this album with, he called me when I was in Spain cleaning a boat with my friend. And he was like, Joss, there's this amazing band that I've worked with before. They made his album, Blackbird Diaries, and they're free next week. So, well, in a couple of days at that point it was. Do you want to come down and we'll have a jam and we'll just write some stuff and play it? And that's exactly what I did. 2 days later, I was on a plane. 6 days later, I was coming back.
Now, this is Dave Stewart, formerly of the Eurythmics.
Yes.
What does he bring to this new record? Why did you decide to work with him?
Well, because he's fun, I think. And pretty much every time Dave calls me and suggests to do anything, I know it's going to be fun. So I always say yeah. And then I find myself in these great fun situations, like with the Super Heavy stuff.
Yeah, I want to talk to you a bit about Super Heavy. Super Heavy is another super group.
Yeah.
You've got you, you've got Mick Jagger, you've got A.R. Rahman, the Oscar-winning composer for Slumdog Millionaire and for other great songs.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Who am I leaving out there? There's also Damian Marley, the great, one of the sons of the great Bob Marley and a terrific musician in his own right. You've all sort of joined together for this cross-cultural super band. How did that come about, and what's that been like, Super Heavy?
It's been crazy. The experience has just been brilliant. It's a real eye-opener to other styles of music for me, especially working with AR, because there's no way I would have ever worked with someone that makes that style of music otherwise, really. I mean, it's a totally different thing. I mean, obviously he is seeping over into what we're doing as well, so it's hard to say that. But yeah, it's been a great experience. Dave called me again in exactly the same way that he did with LP1. He was
Were
like,
you cleaning a boat again?
No, I wasn't. Not that time, no. I can't remember what I was doing, probably making a sandwich or a cup of tea. So he calls me, he goes, Joss, I've had this really great idea. I'm going to make this band with all these different people from different cultures and different styles of music. Do you want to be in my band? I said, yeah, definitely. There was no real questions I needed to ask. If Dave Stewart's making a band, I really don't actually care, like, who he chooses. Dave's making a band. I'm going to be in his band. He's brilliant. And all of his ideas are very, like, different, and they change the world in a little piece every time. So, yeah.
Now, you recently sort of made headlines when you attended the royal wedding. What was that like? 'Cause I saw a lot of pictures of you attending that, and you're one of the celebrity guests that obviously sort of stood out.
Yeah.
Was that a wonderful time for you? What was that like?
It was lovely, actually. Actually, I'd just come home from the boat, and I found my invitation in the post. Thank God I checked my post. I never check my post.
Yeah, you can't miss the royal wedding. What was that?
I know! Can you believe? No, I always like chuck my post in a box and pretend like it doesn't exist for months, and then I do it, and then there's all these red letters like, oh, I'm terrible. So thank God I did this time. And yeah, it was cool. It was really fun.
And you also made headlines for a less happy occasion on that sort of strange tale of an alleged murder, kidnapping outside your house. I mean, how did you feel about that? I mean, 'cause you're such a obviously a carefree kind of person. You value your privacy and your freedom. What was that like to hear about that going on outside your house?
Well, it's a bit weird. They didn't actually get to outside of my house. They got lost, which I find quite comical. They're like Laurel and Hardy, them two, I tell you. It's really, yeah, I don't know. I mean, what can you feel about that? People say, how did you deal with it and stuff, but I didn't have to deal with anything, actually, because they didn't do it. They didn't manage to do it.
But thank goodness.
Thank God. Now I have a lock on my door. I didn't before.
Okay.
I should just invite the world in for a cup of tea.
Yeah, that's just a good policy anyways.
I do have a lock.
So you're working.
So yeah, it's fine.
You're working on some new music now in New York, correct?
Yes, I am. Yes, I'll be working on an album to follow up the very, very first album I ever did. So I don't know what's going to happen, but on Monday I'm going to do basically the Soul Sessions too. So that's really exciting. Yeah, really cool.
And is there any more acting in your future? You were such a hit on The Tudors, playing Anne of Cleves.
Yeah.
You think you'll do something like that again and be on the small screen or the big screen?
I hope so. I just had a lot of fun doing it. The rule that I have, that I stick with, is if it's fun, I'll be there. If it's not, I'm going to go home. So it was so much fun. I loved doing that. Just dressing up and pretending to be someone totally different to yourself. It was great. So yeah, I mean, if the opportunity arises, then yeah, I'll be there. If it doesn't, I won't. I don't know.
Well, Joss, thanks a lot for coming to the Journal. I appreciate it.
Cool.
Thanks a lot. The album is
you.
LP1, and Chris Farley with the Wall Street Journal.